what would you say are the 3 best practices or 3 tips to mitigate risk, especially if there's a second wave or something else comes up here in the near term?
So I think and all three items and tips are going to be crucial to your playbook and your business contingency plan. Identify your core products. Make sure you know the products that you just can't run out of. And the number 2 point is to revisit their inventory strategies. Because if you're a distributor, the distributors that have inventory are going to get the business. If you don't have inventory, you're not going to get the business, particularly through the pandemic. So, really make those decisions widely, and develop strong tier 2 suppliers and manufacturers. Have more than your plan A. Have a plan B in place and be buying from them still often, so that you've got that that relationship developed, and your tier 2s are always wanting more. So I think those are my 3 biggest tips. And of course, 4th one, communication.
Ah, yes, of course.
Internally, externally.
And did you say you had a fun experience with one of the tier 2 suppliers with toilet paper, or am I mistaken?
No, we did. So again, who knew that people would start panic buying? And in that product stream, we do, industrial does compete with retail. And who knew that we would run out? And so we had to go do some reverse, what'd you call it? We had to go find somebody who was, we saw it in a lot of news clips where people who produce this now, so beer, so all of your distilleries were now producing hand sanitizer. So we've lived through that. We've done that. And we've made some good decisions, and we've made some not good decisions. And then toilet paper. So we found a guy who was willing to go find another manufacturer, and we waited a long time to get that toilet paper in. And part of the challenge is when you have customers that are so brand loyal, doesn't matter if they're out. They're not sometimes willing to look at a different brand, right? They're willing to, I don't know, don't ask me how, how did they end up bridging their gap? Well, because they wouldn't take the tier 2 that we brought in, and we're working through that now. So it's funny, the brand loyalty plays into it. Just because you've brought in a hand sanitizer, and it's replacing one of your main products, doesn't mean that the customers are going to buy it. What's the price? What do you know about it? What's the smell like? It's all very personal still. So you have to be careful. So that's why it's really important that when you are vetting new product to replace your substitutes, to replace your core lines, that sales and your customers have to be involved in those decisions. Otherwise, you're going to bring in inventory and not be able to sell it. We've been really successful because throughout the whole pandemic, we've been very nimble. So we were quick to see we were experiencing a challenge here. So what could we do? What were all our alternatives, and work through and vet all of these alternatives to getting product approval from our customers. So you have to be nimble. You have to pre-plan and have that playbook ready. The nimble, you've got to be able to look at your financial and economic indicators to show if they're trending negative and the risk of trending negative. So you need to live and start working with risk-based thinking. And watch the markets and what you're paying for items that might not be your core. For example, the face masks, I use that example where if you buy high and now the market has a lot of supply, the market price drops, you haven't sold through, you're stuck with masks that you're going to have to take a loss on. So, you have to be very, very careful and watch what's going on in the markets. So that risk-based thinking is really, really important. And the other item to watch for is all of the opportunities that can arise from all of the situations. So, maybe the face mask, cloth masks are going to be a product line for us going forward, depending on what happens with this pandemic. So there are always, there's always silver lining and always other opportunities when things that are not so good face us. So always remember that, to look for those opportunities. Communication internally, externally, is really, really important. So external, outside the supply chain, so with our sales, our business development people, our branches, and then beyond that with our customers. You know, that's really, really key. And I can't stress enough, it's the good relationships that you have with your suppliers and your customers that will take you far.